Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, we're using Morgan Greer Tarot, Supportive Oracle Cards, Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Okay, what else do we have going on here? There's a lot of face-down cards going on here. Why? Why are we doing so many face... We're doing, like, face-down cards. No. Usually when there's face-down cards, it's kind of like... You can't do anything about it till it actually happens. It's like you're not seeing it happen. Like, you don't see it coming until it actually happens. So, like, most of this is face-down. Which, the first couple cards, I guess, make sense with this. You're moving on from a situation. This is talking about a situation you're moving on from, you're completely leaving it, you're deciding that's the right thing to do. Like, nobody's pushing you, you're choosing. Like, all right, this, done. Going that way. Good, bad, or indifferent, whatever reason you're doing that, you're in complete control with the King of Pentacles. I've thought this through, I've decided this is done, and I'm going somewhere else. Now, when you're moving on, though, I do feel like somebody's trying to convince you otherwise with the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Swords. Somebody's trying to convince you otherwise, and it comes in with the Six of Cups saying, like, but you have so much history here, and we like you here, and we don't want you to go away. It's a positive energy, that what I'm feeling. I mean, I know this is a general read. Alright, so somebody's trying to sweet talk you at the very least. Because I feel like some of you are immediately going to say, kind of like, yeah, they want to use me. They want me to do their work for them. That's why they want me to stay. So I respect that. They're trying to sweet talk you. They're being really nice. You've been here so long. We really like you here. Blah, 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 blah. So whatever's going on with that, whether it's a positive energy in the sense of like it was a good situation, or it's just kind of like they're sweet talking you and you're like, yeah, I'm over that. However it works, they're trying to convince you to stay. And I'm getting like, you're talking it out with them, but you're like, no, I'm done. Done is done. I've made my decision. I didn't come at this just willy-nilly. I've been thinking about it, and I decided I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta go. Made my decision. The Emperor is saying, you are walking away from this last situation very respectfully, and you're heading towards something else very respectfully. Whatever that means to you, you're at complete peace with how you're leaving that and going into something else. Complete peace. Alright, so the next thing comes in. Alright, so more, okay. The walking away with the envy. Somebody's like not letting go of you. That's the first thing I'm noticing. You're walking away and you're at peace. Somebody else is not. They're having a hard time letting go. They're forced to let go, but I'm also getting somebody from this past energy. I'm getting, it's very good that you disconnected from that. But my first feeling right after that is like, do not replace this with with a similar energy. I just hate the way this is coming out of my mouth, but here we go. Please, please pay attention to who's coming into your realm. And once you start feeling that same flavor come in, or that same type of attitude, shut that down. Do not give somebody a chance when they already, right in the very start to show these same behaviors. Somebody similar is going to try to take this person's place. You don't need somebody else doing the same thing you already walked away from. Be careful of that. So I apologize if that seems rude in any sense, but they're like, don't let something repeat just with a different person. It's like, you don't want a verbally abusive person to leave your life just to go into a different situation where somebody's abusive to you in a similar fashion. It's a little different, but it's basically they're belittling you in a different way. No, we don't need that. And they're saying the way to make sure that doesn't happen is to make that contract with yourself. Because you got the third eye chakra, you got contract, and you got this, the Four of Pentacles. If you get it in your head and you think about that last situation, and when you started to notice that person doing negative things or taking advantage of you or belittling you or whatever they were doing, when it first started, if you try to drill it back as far as you can, and you replay that scene if you had done something different. Like, what would have been a better way to handle it when it started? How do you wish you would have handled it when it first started? Because I feel like this last person, you gave them the benefit of the doubt. And I feel like you lived to regret it. You gave them the benefit of the doubt, you let something slide, kind of like, everybody has hard days, and it just got worse from there. If you go back and replay that, how would you have stood up for yourself? How would you have done it differently? Called it out like, listen, I don't call people stupid. I don't let people call me stupid. We're not going to be doing that. Because I feel like that's one of the things people do. They think it's funny, or they play it off like, oh, that was I can't believe you did that. That was so stupid. And then they just kind of walk away. And it's kind of like a lot of people, like I'm one of those people that just, you just kind of like look the other way, like whatever. But then they get away with it that one time, and then something else, and they might use a different word, but they keep trying to do that. If you go back to that moment, you're like, listen, I'm not going to call you that word. You don't call me that word. I don't, that's not right. I made that decision because in the moment I thought it was the right decision, and you know what? I don't see anybody perfect here. Me, you, or otherwise. So let's not be using those words. I'm not going to use them towards you. I don't allow you using those towards me. It may seem like overkill in the beginning, and I feel like that's one of the reasons people let these things slide. Because in the very beginning, it's like that conversation needs to happen, but a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm difficult, or I don't want to make it look like I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. That is not making a mountain out of a molehill. That's where those behaviors start, and that's where they need to stop. I'm getting like all pissed off about it all of a sudden, like, because that's how that starts, and that's how these people get in. That's how they get that little claw in. They do little things like that, and they build on them, and they build on them, and before you know it, they're constantly treating you poorly, and they're like, well, why are you upset now? This is how we always talk. That's where that starts. That's where that starts. I'm already, like, I'm right, pissed right off about it. I'm just kind of like, it's kind of like digging me in the head, like, yeah, that is how that happens. We let it go. I don't want to be the troublemaker. Everybody has a bad day, but it's just the beginning. It's how it all starts. I'm like, I'll bent out of shape about it. You're going into a whole new situation. You're going into another very positive situation. This is the happy family is like the 10 of Cups. If you go into this situation with that attitude, I'm going to nip things in the bud. I don't care if people think I overreact. If something is a little bit sideways, I need to address it right off the bat. I don't need to go on about it for 10 days, but like somebody says something like, oh, that was so stupid, I can't believe you did that. Listen, I don't use that language. I don't use that language towards you. I don't accept that language towards me. Edit your vocabulary and don't do that, because we all have our moments, and I don't see anybody perfect here. It may seem overkill, but I'm telling you, right off the bat, nip it in the bud. Nip that in the bud. If they don't like you, that might be a gift to you. Oh, you don't like that? You don't like that I call you out when you treat me bad? Oh, you're not going to talk to me now? Oh, my feelings. How will I ever get over it? Do you really need somebody like that in your life? No. I'm going to answer for you. No, you don't. You do not need somebody around to treat you badly. Even if they think it's minimal, no. One way I will go here with this. I did have my own personal experience with this in the past, a long time ago. Somebody said something negative. I didn't say anything. My face said it for me. If you're one of those people, maybe that would work. If you could express with your face without seeming clownish, I don't even think that's a word, but you know what I mean. Like, my face will say a million things. Like, my face talks for me sometimes. Kind of like I forget what they said. Something about stupid, and I hate that word. And I think I crinkled my face up about it, and they kind of backed off, and they kind of just disappeared. And I'm like, bye. I'm like, okay, you need to go anyway, because I don't like that. Because I'm like, I know I'm a goofy person anyway sometimes. I don't tolerate that very well, though. I don't like that word. Like, especially if we're not really friends. Like, even then I don't really like it. I don't know why I'm going down that road. The balance with the caring connections. Don't put up with it. Even if you have to do it by like making a face. And if you're somebody who like your face says a million words, just don't try to hide it. If you don't like it, you're just kind of like, if it has to be a facial gesture, maybe that's all you need to do. Maybe that's all you need to do. Like they say something you don't like, and you're just kind of like, that might work. Be aware though, if it doesn't work the first time and they try it a second time, you will have to verbally tell them, listen, go pound salt. Not about it. You got all these cards coming in. You are solidifying. Whatever the situation is, it's a very good situation. There's definitely gonna be pieces here that you don't like. And there might be a situation here where you notice somebody uses vocabulary you don't like. You might even shut that down so they don't use that vocabulary towards you, but you're still going to see them use that vocabulary towards other people. I'm getting you just got to hold your line, and you just got to, when it's necessary, for some of you it might be like, you might have to police the conversation. You have to decide if that's right or not for you. It depends. It's very sketchy. Because sometimes you don't want to butt in between two other people and be like, hey, that's not right. You shouldn't talk to that person that way. Sometimes that's not valid. They have to figure out their own situation. But if you think somebody's being abused, you might have to be like, listen, that's not okay. Don't use those words. That's not right. And they might at least get the energy. See, if you do this, if it has to happen, this person with the negative vocabulary may only follow these rules when you're present, but the advantage you may get for that is people might start gravitating around you because they don't like to be treated badly, and when you're around, certain people with bad vocabulary don't use it, and they find conversations much more comfortable, which is also going to get you some allies, which is also going to get you people looking out for you, more opportunities coming towards you. It may feel weird and uncomfortable in the beginning, but I'm getting it will serve you. It might be that almost passive-aggressive benefit. Is that true? Like a passive-aggressive benefit. People know not to say it or talk a certain way around you. Other people might gravitate around you because they don't like it either, but they're not strong enough to really say anything, or it's gotten so far out of control that they don't know what to do about it. So they just start gravitating around you, and then it's not a problem. At least when you're around. It's all about establishing things in the beginning, though. Because once you set up that way of living or that way of being, people seem to accept it, and they just kind of go with it. The situation goes in a very positive way for you with the Sun card. But I'm getting like, when you go into this new situation, there's going to be a moment where everything seems perfect and everything is going very well. What they're giving you a heads up about is deceit with the Temple card. Be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of negative people. The way that they verbally talk might be your first indicator about something negative going on here. This is Sagittarius, right? This is Sagittarius. I hope I said Sagittarius in the beginning because I'm feeling Sagittarius energy. Well, I guess when I play it back, I'll find out. Things are going well, but there's a deceit here. There's the temple path. Somebody's setting something up. Somebody with bad vocabulary. I keep getting like bad vocabulary. But I feel like when I say bad vocabulary, it's condescending. It's not the words or how the words are being said in the sense of like a dialect or anything like that. It's about like belittling people and making people feel like they're less than, or just trying to take other people's power. So be aware of that. When I say bad vocabulary, it's literally how they're making other people feel. Like, I've heard this argument before. People say ask different ways, ask or acts. Who cares? Say it the way you want. It has nothing to do with this. It's when somebody is belittling you to call somebody stupid, or that's what I'm talking about. Be aware of that. Because I feel like sometimes I talk about bad vocabulary and people take that the wrong way, and I'm like, no. It's not about how somebody says a word or their dialect. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with how they make other people feel. I don't know. For some reason, that gets under my skin too. It's kind of like, no, no. I'm like, when I say bad vocabulary, I'm talking about how they make people feel. The sacral chakra here with the man. I was gonna call him the woman holding a heart, but he's a man. They're showing the man, but I'm feeling like I want to say woman so bad. It doesn't matter. I don't. It's weird. I don't know. For some of you, maybe it is a woman. Somebody who feels like they are the ones that need to be in control. They don't like the fact that you're calling them out on their bad behavior. Nothing to do with dialect. Again, it's how they make people feel with their words. They're setting the situation up to turn it around on you. You will overcome this. I feel like this is how to empower yourself with this moment, because this is really important. If this reading is hitting, if it really is hitting, and I know they're general reads, so not for everybody, but for those it does, it's like you feel like at this point, the sun card on your side, you feel like you've overcome this situation. You called somebody else out on the way they talk. They're acting better. They're not saying things in front of you that's negative. They're going to come around again, and they're going to try to knock you down. If you're ready for it, if you see it, if you're prepared for it, if you're on guard for it, you'll be okay. It won't knock you over. Because they're going to come forward very strong. It's going to be a verbal attack. I'm sorry, but we can't have sunshine roses all the time. And if it's going to happen, it's better that you know it's going to happen. Be ready for it. Because I'm getting the Chariot card with the Knight of Swords. That's an attack. I'm sorry, but that's these two cards together. That's energy coming in very strong, very swiftly. That's the Chariot. The Knight of Swords is usually communication, but that's somebody aggressively coming forward with what they got to say. The two of these together feels like an attack. A verbal attack to me. You're not going to like it. It's not going to make you feel good. It's not going to be a feel-good moment, definitely. But you're strong enough to get past this. What I get is, like, if you don't expect it, if you don't see it, if it completely blindsides you, it's going to feel more like the Three of Swords, kind of like, you've been betrayed, you're embarrassed, it makes you very uncomfortable, and it just makes things with this person really difficult, and it undermines a lot of things. If you see it coming, though, if you're prepared for it and you realize this person, it's not like you just solved it and they moved on. They're waiting for their moment to get even. Get even for what? In their mind, it's getting even. It's not really, but that's might be how they see it. So just take that with a grain of salt. Like, that's how they see it. Is that truly what's happening here? No, but that may be how they see it, just to be fair. If you see it like that, in that light, the Strength card is stronger for you, which means, are you going to like it? No. But if you're expecting it and you're ready for it, when it happens, you'll just kind of stand your ground. You'll stand strong. You'll deal with it. You'll move on, and that'll be that. I also feel like once it happens this one time, you'll never trust this person again. I don't know what happens in this moment that makes it just very like, well, you almost got me that time, but we're not going to have that problem again. Because I feel like other people around you are seeing that other person, this negative energy, more for who they are, especially if you're able to stand strong and hold and weather it through and just kind of move it on. The Strength card, when that's stronger, other people also garner strength from you too, kind of like the Sagittarius made it through it. The Sagittarius didn't let this person knock them down. If the Sagittarius can do it, I feel like I might be able to too. Because you're going to have to hold your ground with this person. Cards falling off the table. Either way, you're going to have to hold your ground with this person. I don't think they're going to win out, but I feel like it's a better outcome if you're ready for it. It's easier for other people to stand up for themselves if you're ready for it. I just feel like if you're blindsided, it's very painful to deal with. If you're not blindsided, you're kind of like, yeah, I saw that coming. Didn't really like that moment, but... And it just feels like it shuts that person down more. I feel like if you're ready for it, it just shuts them down so much more effectively. The fact that they're even doing what they're doing seems to go against them in some respect. But I like it better when you're prepared for it. So hopefully this prepares you. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. I'll get this over to you. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.